Hi there, Lisa Orana here, and I appreciate you joining me for today's Assemble This video. I'm going to have fun assembling this Christmas card using non-Christmas stamps. It's always fun to stretch your supplies and use them for something they might not have been intended for. I'm featuring the Heart of Autumn stamp set from Unity Stamp Company using that big, gorgeous fall leaf heart. I have the heart set up in my MISTI with a scrap piece of paper, and I'm just inking that up with some slate Gina K ink. And I'm just going to stamp that on my scrap piece of paper. It doesn't have to be perfect because we're just using it as a guide for a die cut. This is a heart I created in my Silhouette Cameo software. And I'm just using the negative to line that up around my stamped image and then placing the die cut right in the center. That way I know that my leaf heart is going to stamp perfectly within my die cut. Since it is hard to see through rubber stamps, this is a great way to make sure that your image is lined up perfectly within that die cut. If you don't have a cutting machine, you could also use a die cut. Just find a heart that would fit well with that leaf image. Next, we're just going to stamp some circles in and behind the leaf image. These circles are included in the stamp set, and I'm using some kind of cool wintry colors. This is supposed to be a fall leaf stamp, but I'm switching it up and using some winter colors with the teals and craft. This is what's going to help make it feel like a Christmas card. I'm using 4 Gina K ink colors to fill in the heart. I'm using Craft, Ocean Mist, Tranquil Teal, and Turquoise Sea. I grabbed a sentiment from the Believe in Magic October 2015 sentiment kit from Unity as well. And I'm inking that up in the Turquoise Sea color and stamping that on some cardstock. I just got that ready for use later. Next, I put down my card base and layered over a stencil on top. I just love the sweater look that this stencil creates. I'm using my heart as a guide, and I'm just going to blend on some of that craft ink in a circle. And I just want to create a halo around where that heart's going to be placed on the card front. I'm using some blending brushes and just blending on some of that ink. Again, putting the heart back down just to make sure that my circle is large enough to make sure I have a nice halo of that craft ink around the heart image. My tape kind of got in the way there, so I'm just moving that and then finishing up with some blending down at the bottom there. And I always start out light and then build up color. I like the variance, so some of it's darker in some areas and some of it's lighter in others. Just creates a little bit of interest in the pattern that we're creating. So I'm pretty happy with that halo. Just going to remove the stencil. So let's start assembling our card here. I'm just going to put some foam adhesive right behind our die cut heart. Press that down well. And then I'm trimming down my sentiment. I want to turn this into a tag, so I'm leaving a little bit of an edge on one side of the sentiment so we can trim that down later into a tag. So I'm just double checking my size here. Looks like it might be just a smidge too long, so I'm going to trim that down one more time. And I'm liking that better. So now I'm just going to grab my scissors and cut off a triangle on one side. And then I'm going to flip that over and line it up to the other side of my rectangle and then use my scissors to follow that as a guide. And now we have a little tag. I'm just going to punch a hole in the end here, just like that. And then I'm going to thread through some of this ivory string and trim off the tail a little bit. And then use a piece of that tail, and I'm going to tie a tiny little bow around the top. Once I had that bow to the size that I liked, I trimmed off the tails and made sure to slide it down so it rested right up against the tag. And then I trimmed my other tails as well to the length that I liked. I'm going to add a little bit of foam adhesive right beside the heart here for my tag, and then use some tape adhesive to tack it to the front of the heart. That way the heart and the tag are at the same level. I love how the tag sentiment makes it feel kind of Christmassy as well. Last, I'm going to add on some little sparklets, dewdrops and rhinestones, I think they are. Just do a mixture within the heart, and then a few at the top of the card and a couple underneath the sentiment as well. Again, I love a little bit of shine, so this is the perfect addition. So here is the finished Christmas card in its lovely teals and warm crafty browns. I love how it feels very wintry and warm all at the same time. And it's really fun that we used a fall stamp for a Christmas card. I'll have all the supplies linked in the description of this video if you have any questions or sweet comment posts below. Thank you so much for joining me today. I hope you enjoyed, and I'll see you next time. Bye.